Hey. Honey, you want to let me in? Come on, open up. Okay. Listen up, you adorable little disaster. I know it feels like the end of the world right now, but trust me, it is not. It's just a bad day. It is not a bad life. You're still here. You're still breathing. And most importantly, you are still employed. Let's be real. If they haven't fired you yet, you're probably doing something right. Even if it doesn't feel like it. Come on. I know you're in there. Probably lurking in a corner looking like some sad puppy that just got caught chewing on the boss's new shoes. But can we first acknowledge something, though? Like, seriously? You've got to be one of the most spectacular screw-ups I've ever seen, and I say that with all the love in the world. Like, really. How did you even manage it? It's almost impressive. I mean, most people would need a solid week to make as many mistakes as you did in one day. So if nothing less, you are efficient. Came out to tell me off? I knew that'd work. Okay, but look, seriously. We need to talk. Because I cannot have you moping around here like you are the only person who's ever messed up. Spoiler alert, you're not. Believe it or not, even I have been less than perfect once or twice. I know, so difficult to believe. Yeah, okay, maybe just once. Oh, you were there for it. Yes, you remember? When I accidentally replied to that company-wide email with, OMG, who even reads these? Yeah, that was fun. But, look, the world didn't end, right? So you made a few mistakes. Big deal, you're not the first, you definitely won't be the last. But that's not the point. The point is you're not a failure. You just... How do I put this delicately? Who am I kidding? I'm not delicate. You're a hot mess. But so is everyone else. Some people are just better at hiding it. Okay, let's start with the basics. You made a few... Okay, yes. You made a lot of mistakes. But newsflash, sweetheart, mistakes don't make you a failure. They make you human. I mean, come on. Seriously? If perfection were a requirement around here, would I have to spend so much time pretending to care about everyone else's drama? And half the people out here would be out the door, and those are just the ones who pretend they know what they're doing. But lucky for you, and also for the rest of the clowns we work with, perfection is a myth. Like unicorns, or gluten-free donuts that actually taste good. Oh, I get it, I do. Feeling like you're in way over your head, huh? Probably think everyone else is judging you, or whispering behind your back about what a disaster you are, but guess what? They are not. You know why? Because they're all too busy worrying about their own screw-ups to care about yours. The truth is, nobody has time to keep track of all the ways you've dropped the balls because they're too busy juggling their own. Speaking of which, do you remember when Stacy accidentally sent her email with all the financial reports to the entire company? Yeah, exactly. That was a fun day for her, wasn't it? Or how about when Mark mixed up the client presentation with his quote-unquote stand-up comedy routine? It wasn't funny as a stand-up comedy routine. It was certainly not funny as a client presentation. Yeah. And then there he was trying to pass off that terrible knock-knock joke as part of a strategy for Q3. It was so painful. So painful. Oh, and don't get me started on the time Susan tried to fix the copier, but somehow ended up breaking the entire office Wi-Fi. I will never understand how she managed that. But the point is, everyone screws up. And most of them way worse than you. Okay, but let's take a step back for a sec, okay? You are sitting here. You look like you're replaying every single mistake in your head like it's a horror movie marathon. Just thinking, oh my God, how will I ever recover from this? Well, let me tell you how. I'm gonna do it with style. I'm gonna do it with a little bit of sass and a whole lot of not give a damn. That's how. First, I need you to stop apologizing every 5 seconds. Okay, yes, you messed up, and yes, it sucks. But if you keep saying sorry all the time, like it's your new catchphrase, people are going to think you're starting to apologize more for existing than for whatever mistake you made. Apologize once, do it sincerely, and then move on. And, darling, for the love of all things Louis Vuitton, do not bring it up again unless somebody else does. And if they do, just shrug, smile, say, yeah, only human. Because, really, what else is there to say? Okay, now let's talk about recovery. It's not as hard as you think. You really just have to fake it till you make it. Seriously. Look, do you think I roll out of bed every morning feeling like I've got my life together? Huh? I barely have time to brush my teeth and hair, let alone plan out how I'm going to conquer the day. But here's the trick, okay? Nobody knows that. Nobody needs to know that. As far as everyone else is concerned, I've got it all figured out. And that's because I walk into the office like I own the place. You should try it sometime. Trust me, it works. Here's a little secret, right? Confidence is all about perception. If you act like you're in control, people will believe that you are. Even if your mind is doing cartwheels and your heart is racing faster than my mother at a clearance sale, the key is to keep your head high. Keep your shoulders back. Keep your mouth shut unless you have something smart or sarcastic to say, preferably both. And if you do find yourself in another sticky situation, which, let's be honest, you probably will, don't panic. Just take a deep breath in and think for a second. And then do whatever it is you need to do to fix the problem. If that means that you need to ask for help, you ask for help. But do it in a way that makes it seem like you're on top of things. Like, hey, could you give me a hand with this? I just want to make sure it's perfect. Right? See what I did there? I'm not being clueless, I'm being thorough. It's all about the spin. Speaking of which, another great way to recover from mistakes is by distracting people with something else. Okay, for example, let's just imagine that you made a major blunder. I know, hard to imagine, but just work with me. Just pretend that you'd made a major blunder today. Okay, You've made a mistake. Now just casually mention, oh, there's cake in the break room. Or better yet, bring the cake yourself. People love free food. And nothing says, please forget I just made a fool of myself like a tray of cupcakes. Trust me, they will be so busy stuffing their faces they won't even remember what you did wrong. But seriously, babe, you've got to cut yourself some slack. This job, this life, none of it comes with an instruction manual. We're all just trying to figure it out as we go along. Some days you're on top of the world, other days you're under it, getting crushed by the weight of your own stupidity. It just happens. What matters is that you keep going. What matters is that you keep showing up, you keep trying, and you keep learning from your mistakes. Because as long as you're learning, you're not failing. You've got to learn to laugh at yourself, babe. Life is too short to take everything so seriously. Okay, so you messed up. Big deal. It will make for a great story later on. When you're sitting around with your friends, wine in hand, and you can laugh about how ridiculous it was. Who knows, maybe you'll even look back on this one and think, wow, I can't believe I was so worried about that. Perspective is everything. And hey, if you ever feel like you're the only one struggling, just remember, I once sent a message to my best friend, to the entire office, and it was about my boyfriend. Wait, no. It wasn't about my boyfriend. It was about what I did with my boyfriend. Yeah. I had to do so much damage control. But I survived it. And so will you. So here's the deal. I'm gonna need you to pick yourself up. Gonna need you to dust yourself off, and I need you to start acting like the fierce, fabulous person I know you are, because deep down, under all that self-doubt and anxiety, you've got potential. I see it even if you don't. And trust me, the world doesn't have time for you to sit around feeling sorry for yourself. You got work to do. You've got people to impress. And you've got mistakes to make, but preferably not as many as you've been making this week. And, next time you feel yourself on the verge of locking yourself in that room, on the verge of a meltdown, please remember, there's nothing you can mess up that I can't help you fix. Or at least cover up until nobody notices. So go out there and screw up gloriously, because I've got your back. And if all else fails, we'll blame it on Stacy. She's probably overdue for another catastrophe anyway. Yeah. Okay, so chin up, Buttercup. You got this. And if you ever need a reminder, just come find me. I'll be the one looking like I have my life together, but secretly Googling how to survive being an adult under my desk. Now, let's go get out of this office. Let's go get some overpriced coffees like the corporate zombies we are. Because nothing says I'm coping like spending way too much on a latte that you didn't even really want. And if anybody gives you a hard time, just remember, our closets are all full of skeletons too. Maybe yours just happen to be a little bit more lively right now. That's okay. It means you're learning. At the end of the day, we'll all laugh about it. You know, maybe not today, but eventually. Mistakes don't define you. It's how you bounce back from them that does. So start bouncing, babe. We got places to be and people to outshine. And you're going to be just fine. I promise. Hey there, cupcakes. Thank you all so very much for your time, your attention, your likes, your shares, your subscriptions. If you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so. But I do appreciate all of the ways that you guys support me. Some of you have noticed, and certainly I've been telling people, that I have been opening up new ways to join memberships for people who don't like Patreon. I have now YouTube memberships that does have exclusive content and does have early access to videos and other content, but no spicy on that. I'm also opening up a Fourth Wall membership account. Part of the motivation to do that was, aside from wanting to just meet people on platforms where they're comfortable, where they already are, is because Apple is, the iOS App Store is about to start charging a 30% fee to new memberships on Patreon. That's going to start in November. Anybody who's in before that will be grandfathered in. It's new memberships, not old memberships. So if you've been considering joining and you're not sure if you would like to join, I am going to put a discount link that's going to be good for the next month and a half, just a little over a month, basically until November. And it's going to go away by November, but I will give people some encouragement to jump into that Patreon and become a member if you're inclined. Give it a look, see. I will be linking to that in the comments down below, I think, or in the description down below. Take a look. So next, I would like to say hello and welcome to Claymore, who is joined by my patrons. And special thanks to Gunner's Mage, the Y Rider, and Kealoa, and Anonymous, who have been kind to me on my throne list, have been visiting my throne list and indulging my silliness. So thank you. And warmest regards to those special cupcakes who do go over and above in helping me to be able to do this for a living every day. There is Disbanded Crow, Techo, Amphizenus, Mushan Gaming, Tomas Rogers, That One Brit, Your Skating Wolfie, Nosti, Rogue Scholar, Barry Wilburn, Esteed, Anon, SLE Photo, Harper Evolution, Malicilo, Army Guy 007, Mr. Fabulous, Lou, Bunny, Tiny the Taxman, Meryl, Onin, Darth Mythish, Red Death 48, Always Able, Vagar, Moon, Old Bean UK, Kulua Bear, The Swaggy Llama, Cody, Artlo, Pierce Tailish, and Christian Cleopa.